Hey guys, today we're at the end of the Witch's Road in the 2-episode finale of Agatha All Along. Let's get into it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the End of the Line podcast. I'm your boy Juan G. Here with me,
Kika T.
That's right. And as you said, we're going to be at the end of the Witch's Road, or maybe not, kind of, sort of, so. Sometimes.
Yeah, psych, maybe.
I guess. So yeah, but we're going to figure all that out in the 2-episode finale. And man, was this a good one.
Hell yeah, dude.
This thing started strong, kept going strong, and ended stronger.
Yeah. Every episode got stronger and stronger and stronger.
I mean, hats off to Catherine Hahn for doing an amazing job with Agatha. Joe Locke played Wiccan perfectly. Yeah. Every character, every actor that played each witch in this show did an amazing job. Joe Locke, hats off to you. Killed it with this show. Yeah. Writers, everybody, costume design, everything. But before we get into that episode, we got some nerd news for you. All right, first bit of nerd news. We get the look on the trailer of Wonder Man releasing December 2025 on Disney Plus. So now, is this a show or a movie?
I believe it's a show.
Okay.
Yes. So
that's gonna be releasing on straight to Disney Plus.
Correct.
Okay then. Cool. Oh, I did see the trailer. Trailer's interesting. Yeah. We get Trevor Slattery back, and who is apparently sidekicking it with Wonder Man, I guess.
Yeah, or helping produce the show.
So I'm very confused on this because the show is playing it on itself because the guy who's playing Wonder Man is auditioning to play Wonder Man.
Yeah.
It's like a Russian nesting doll of a show.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So, what are they saying? Are they saying that he's trying to be cast as Wonder Man, but he's actually Wonder Man?
Correct.
Okay, all right. We're going to try to do more research on that to figure out what the hell that show is going to be. What else we got?
So also we have What If being released around Xmas again, Christmas
Season
time.
3.
Yeah, and there's huge rumors saying that Storm's going to be featured in this.
Nice.
So it'd be the first mutant that has already been established as a mutant being emphasizing What If. And we had this conversation where we talked about, do we want to see mutants in What If? And I told you, it'd be stupid if they didn't.
Yeah. I think we had only said that the reason they did it is because they were saving it for X-Men 97.
Correct.
Right?
Because it's still animated. And you were saying they're two different things, but now they've rebranded themselves. Yeah. So there's the Marvel Studios, which would be the
MCU.
Well, all of it's the MCU, but it would be the movies.
Right.
It would be the
when
films.
I say MCU, I mean the films. So I have to speak more specifically now. So yeah. And the Marvel Studios, is now the films, the movies.
Correct.
And now we have
there's Marvel Animation and then Marvel Television
and the shows. Okay,
correct.
Cool. Nice.
And I believe special presentations fall under the television.
Yeah, that makes more sense because it goes straight to Disney Plus and stuff like that.
So anything that's released first into the movies is going to be Marvel
we have 2 special presentations, correct? The
Holiday Special and
Werewolf by Night.
That's it.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
I know there was rumors of Silver Surfer possibly getting a special.
It hasn't been confirmed, but that's something they want to do to introduce it. Norrin Rad, I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Especially with it already the female Silver Surfer being confirmed to be in.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just the guy, Norrin Rad.
No, I mean, he's a herald, and he was granted that power of the Silver Surfer. He wasn't the Silver Surfer before.
Is the female one his girl?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I would like to see a backstory because we've never seen it done. We never, only thing that has is the comics, is Norrin Rad's origin.
He is hella OP.
Yeah.
He is faster than Flash. Dude, he will fucking crush him.
Language.
Well, that's DC, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Either way,
Flash is the fastest character, right, in comics? Is that right? Because Quicksilver can't go back in time with his speed. Flash can.
I mean, he could keep up, but he can't, like...
In just a pure running. Right. But if Flash turns it on...
With the Speed Force? No, it's over with.
That's what it is. Flash has a Speed Force, and that's how he uses to go through time, is through the Speed Force.
Yeah. Quicksilver
just has speed.
Yeah, and he can cut through dimensions, through universes and galaxies.
Quicksilver?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm talking about Silver Surfer.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, then. Yeah. Sweet. I did not know this. Okay, interesting.
He is OP as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine.
I would say he can single-handedly take down Thanos.
Yeah, there's very few people that can.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next bit we have. All right, so we're kind of opposites on this one, but Kraven is coming out December 13th. So we got about a month and a half or so.
Well, just under.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. He is not. I think the trailer. Now the trailer is what did it for me. I wasn't excited for this project leading up to this, just because there have been delays and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the trailer got me excited because I'm like, okay, this looks like it's done well. We will see how well. But
Aaron Taylor Johnson looks amazing in the role. I think if it's a good. I don't think it's going to get anything higher than 3 stones.
Okay.
Truthfully.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's Elseworlds. Yeah. Right. But so here's the thing though, like he sounds a lot like Kraven, I feel like. But to me, Kraven himself is a big dude. He's up there with like the stature of like a little under Venom.
Fair.
Like height wise and build.
Maybe not as big, but height for sure.
Yeah, I could see him, like an actor that should have played him should be like The Rock type, where they're muscular and tall.
But usually people that are that big and tall don't have the range to pull that off.
Okay,
that's why.
Fair.
And that's why
I'm just saying the actor type, the look only the look should have been like at least a tall dude or. Aaron just
but think about it.
Up a little bit.
Only people that could have pulled it off is The Rock, Chris Hemsworth. Well, I don't know if Chris Hemsworth could have pulled it off.
Why?
It's not.
I think you say that because you haven't seen him in that kind of a role.
I mean, Extraction.
No, he was still playing a soldier with a heart. So it's just like it wasn't the same thing as Kraven.
No,
Kraven's more of a dark, mysterious type person. Kind of like ruthless. I don't think we've seen that out of any of his performances. But like I said, I'm looking forward to Aaron. What's his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That him. Kick-ass. He'll always be kick-ass to me. I'm looking forward to his portrayal of the character. I will hold my reservations until I see him.
Yeah.
I'm solely talking about the look of the character.
He looks great.
I feel like he should have I feel like the character of Kraven just calls for a taller person, just to have that stature.
So the way you're critiquing this is how I feel about Captain Marvel.
Yes, I knew you were gonna go there. Yeah. And that's granted because in the comics she doesn't look like Brie Larson at all.
Nah.
So she's taller. She's a little thicker. And yeah. So, but I see where they were going with Brie Larson. Maybe that was like the closest that they could get to her. Who do you think? Who would you have said is a closer look to Captain Marvel? What actress?
I keep forgetting her name. She was already in the MCU. She's the one that made out with
Captain America.
Yeah.
Really? Was she tall?
Yeah. She's just tall as Steve Rogers.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because she just pulled him close to her. Okay.
And she has the right build. She has the same.
She's that blonde.
Yeah. She has like a snowl. Like I don't. That's maybe a bad.
Like a snare.
She just has this look. Like the nose looks very similar, and her face is like kind of pointed.
All right.
I don't know how to explain it, but like it really looks the part. She really looks the part.
Fair enough. Okay. I mean, they could have put her in. Nobody would have batted an eye.
And I think she's prettier than Brie Larson.
I will agree on you.
Yeah, it's just and
Captain I think Brie Larson is beautiful in her own right.
Yes,
I just think this.
I think she looks better with the haircut.
Short?
I like it.
Disagree.
I like it.
Disagree.
Yeah, even though she.
I like the flowing hair. Anyway, so what do we have next?
John Krasinski is set to reprise his role as Jack Ryan in the new movie.
All right, I follow the show.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we love the show. We think it's a really good one. It keeps you guessing throughout the whole season. And then you're like, oh, man, is it this person? Or are they going to do this or this? Like, it's one of those shows that keeps you engaged throughout the whole season.
That's cool.
And it's done really well.
That's an Amazon Prime.
Correct. It is a Prime show. Yeah. So it has been going really well, and I didn't expect it to turn into a movie. So this will be cool. This is exciting. I don't know if it's. Do you think it's gonna go to theaters, or is it just gonna be like an Amazon Prime movie?
That's a good call. Like a Prime exclusive.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
John Krasinski has the box office.
He's got the acting chops.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. He can. It can be either or.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes straight to streaming only, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it hits the movies.
Yeah. I mean, John Krasinski is one of my favorite actors, and he has been since The Office. But the man could do comedy well. He can do action really well, and he could hit you with the heartfelt moments too.
Yeah, especially with
this guy. He could do it. He could do it everything. Well, if was more his directing that was getting you.
Yeah. But he was because he was in
his scenes. His scenes definitely had heart for sure. Some really cool news, which ties into our episode a little bit. Agatha All Along episode 8 hit 4.6 million views in one day.
Yeah,
just one day, and then episode 9 hit 3.9 million views in one day.
And I think largely the drop off from 4.6 to 3.9 is because it came out relatively late in the day. Sandy and Soph, they knocked out.
So you're thinking that maybe they started watching it after the day mark had changed to So I mean, that's still impressive numbers for one day.
Hell yeah.
So they're just doing just shy of our numbers. You know what I mean? So it's just right underneath ours, which is good for them. You know,
imagine.
I would just die if our numbers were 4 million.
I'd do whatever you guys asked me to do.
Whatever.
If you guys wanted me to pierce my nipples live, I'd do it.
Get the Peter.
Oh my god!
Actually, just sound off in the comments if you want to get that piercing.
If we get 4.6 views and shares and likes,
the day we start getting money for doing this podcast, he will get the Peter Full piercing.
Absolutely. But in order for that to happen, you guys need to make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell.
That's right.
And get up to date with the latest of nerd news.
Yes, that's right. Dude, I would die if you got that piercing. Dude, that'd be hilarious. Oh my god.
But
all right.
Right into Agatha.
So
on IMDb, it is rated a 7.3 out of 10, which is low in my standards.
Hell yeah, dude. That should be way higher than that. Are you kidding me?
It has jumped up in popularity. I think 7, 8, and 9, those episodes have sealed the deal for many casual watchers and then the diehards.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are going to be some that are going to just be like, oh, they shoved the whole lesbian kiss in our face and the whole...
You can shove that in my face every fucking day, sir. That shit was hot. We'll get there. Trust me, we will get there.
I mean, it was the kiss of death. But
hell yeah,
nonetheless, it was...
they titled it that. The writers and everything named it the kiss of death. Yeah, right. I loved it.
I love the show. It's one of the top 3 shows. My number 1 was WandaVision. And I don't know what number 2 is. It rivals Loki. Loki has a bit of an edge because there's 2 seasons.
Not only that, but his character means more, and we've been with him longer, so we're more invested.
Correct.
So,
but
you can't really compare.
We don't I don't want to spoil it, but because of the ending of episode 9 and Agatha's state and the future that happens with her in that form that she's in, she can be just as important going down, bringing back
now. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm excited for the way it ended. I hope the Vision series and the Wiccan series don't become one thing, because they know.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like, give Wiccan his own series.
I would love that.
Yeah.
The entire time he's trying to find Billy.
Yeah.
And he's going through the bullshit and going through the... Maybe find some other witches.
Yeah.
Maybe he encounters...
Because we're going to get there,
Polaris.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, which is his tia, his aunt.
Polaris, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it'd be interesting. Maybe he... There's a lot to do with the... to do a full-on witchcraft episode... Or witchcraft, another witchcraft season or series show, whatever the fuck it's called. Just to see it. There's so much to do with that. You know?
Dude. No, it's a lot. This
Introduce
is definitely
some of the
avenue.
Along the way, like Hulkling, who becomes his like long-term boyfriend.
I see. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I say give him one season and then end the season with tying him into Young Avengers, just the way the Marvels ended with
Kamala.
What's Miss Marvel? Yeah, with Miss Marvel going to the new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. Unlike the new Hawkeye, Hot Girl. No, that's something else. Lady Hawkeye is what I liked, and she said it. Yeah. She's like, "What do you think about Lady Hawkeye?" And
she just goes by Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's like, "No." But yeah, like that meeting that she had with her, have Wiccan have that with like Miss Marvel. I don't care.
Yeah. I would love if he can, because I want to see the evolution of him mastering his powers. Yeah. With Agatha's mentorship, and then his powers being mastered, because he can't, as we see in the end, like, at the end of WandaVision, Wanda changes her clothes. And then she's in regular hoodie and t-shirt or whatever. He leaves in his Wiccan outfit and gets in the car the way she does. Puts the hood on just like his mom does. And then drives off. But like, he's all scarred up and shit. So like, she could have. He doesn't have control of his powers at will like that just yet. And I'd love to see him do that and then come out of the shadows behind Kamala Khan, scare her, and be like, "Hey, I heard you're putting a team together. I want in."
Instead of her going in.
Yeah. She'd be like, do I have a choice?
Hold on, let me use my see-through tablet and figure out who you are. Yeah. All right, cool. But let's dive right into...
If that shows up in the future, you heard it here first.
Hell yeah, right, man. We know what we're talking about. Or they heard us and did it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stick with that one.
Yes.
So, episode 8, Follow Me, My Friend, to Glory at the End. End of the road, kind of.
Yes.
So, in this one... Why don't you kick it off for us?
So it opens up with Alice, and Alice is on the floor, and she's back in her like Hot Topic outfit that she was wearing when she first got to the road, and then she like sits up, and then
Rio's standing over her, right?
Correct. So she sits up, and then Rio's like basically there to collect her, and Alice is upset because she doesn't have any more time, and she's like, I broke the curse. I feel like I can do so much more with my powers,
dude. At the time to get taken. Hours after she broke a curse, come on.
Yeah.
I'd be so pissed.
Not even.
But like.
Oh, yeah, probably about hours.
Yeah, but like, I'm really glad that we got this scene, though. It gave us closure on Alice. We've gotten, as the episodes went on, we got closure for the other characters, but not Alice.
Well, we didn't really get the closure for.
We did for Lilia.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Hart.
She's not a witch, though.
Right.
I said, she was only down there to fill the numbers.
That's what I was going to say. I think if death collects you and you're not that of the supernatural or mystical
sisterhood,
world, yeah. No, not even that. Like, I feel like if...
Oh, you mean like of magic and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like in reality, when the... what's the fucking bald girl from Doctor Strange?
Cassandra Nova? Oh, bald girl.
The
ancient one?
Yes. I feel like death appeared to her. She can astral project. She uses...
Well, she kept seeing it, yeah.
Right. So, like, what I'm saying is, like, if you have sorcery or witchcraft or some type of power like that, like Loki, I feel like Lady Death would show up to Loki to collect his soul.
Okay.
And those that aren't of that nature that have that ability, death will collect you, but I don't think you get to have that conversation when you leave. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel
you
like
think Loki still would, even him being the god of stories?
Now that's different.
Okay.
But I think all the other times that he died and then came back, he's seen death. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And death is like, this motherfucker keeps slipping out.
Yeah.
I've collected him 12 times already.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it turns out it was one of his apparitions. It wasn't even him.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So then Rio kind of hits her with the it is what it is kind of bullshit. And so she's like, you're a protecting witch, right? You died protecting someone. Like
successful. Yeah. You did your
Success,
job.
The way fucking Agatha says
Yeah. Success.
And she's just like, really? Like Alice is like, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and then goes with her.
Correct. So then it flips to Jen screaming for Lilia. And, as we know, Lilia sacrificed herself in the previous episode. Yeah. She's like, I loved being a witch. And then closes the Iron Maiden.
So she's on the other side banging on the Iron Maiden. And then it just
she turns around to talk to Billy.
Yeah.
And then looks back. And she's like, where's Lilia? She's like, she stayed behind. And she chose to do it or whatever. And then she looks back and it's just rock.
Mm-hmm.
The Iron Maiden's not there no more.
Yeah.
So there's no way back into that part of the road, signifying that, she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what happened to the dead bodies.
Yeah. Cause. Yeah, no, I got nothing. I don't know what the hell happened to him. But all right.
So they're just. So, me and you spoke about this. Oh, actually, I don't want to jump too far ahead. Never mind. All right, cool. So, after that, it cuts to Rio confronting Agatha on the road. And it's like kind of a long dialogue that they have going back and forth. She's like, Rio's like, your coven is shrinking.
Yeah.
She's like, first it was Alice, now Lilia. And she just never mentions Mrs. Hart. She's like, it was nice of her that she took the Salem 7. Mm-hmm. So we could confirm that all 7 of them are dead because she said that. And there was theories that like we only see 5 people hit the swords.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so like you only see 5 bodies hit. You don't see the other 2. So we were theorizing that those 2 that can fly, like the cicada and the crow, they turned into their.
I thought we saw the cicada woman hit first.
You just see shadows.
Oh,
we see them falling.
Yeah.
But we don't see when they hit.
Oh, yeah. We only see the impalement. And
Correct.
We're on the side.
And we don't know who is
who
and who's getting impaled.
Okay.
So there was theories that like 2 of them that can transform. Yeah. So that can fly like the cicada and the crow.
That's what I would have done. I've been flying my ass off.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So then she goes, the bodies are piling up just like you promised. Mm-hmm. And then Agatha's like, you doubted me? She's like, I did. I thought there was going to be a trick.
Yeah.
And she's like, I thought there was going to be a trick somewhere. And she's like, and there was. You distracted me. She's like, I knew you'd figure it out eventually. And then she's like, he's an abomination. He's disrupting the sacred balance.
Ooh.
So, her power set is to, I guess, similar to like Dragon Ball Z. What's it called? Lord Beerus. Mm-hmm. He's the god of destruction, and then there's the Supreme Kais who are the god of creations.
Okay.
And she would be the equivalent, I guess, to a god of destruction. Her job is to collect souls, and it's just a natural order of things.
But in that creating balance. Like, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Right. Because if nobody dies, then
everything's chaos.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There has to be push and pull, given, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, and I know how you feel about him. She's like, please, I've known the kid for 2 minutes. She's like, I've watched you, Agatha, how you watch everybody else walk this road with another woman's son. She's like, stop. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no one in the history has ever had special treatment like you.
Rio says that, yeah.
Yeah, Rio says that. And Agatha's like, you call what you did special treatment? You gave me nothing. You took, and then Rio cuts her off and goes, that's usually your move, right?
Yeah.
Why do you let them believe that about you? About Nikki? And she's like, because the truth is too awful.
Yeah.
So at this point, we still don't know the truth.
Yes.
And we have no idea what's coming, but it comes.
Yeah.
So then it flips back to Jen, and she talks about the green craft is about the cycle of all living things. Everything grows and then it decays. It's a constant flow.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, like there's it has to happen. There has to be growth, and then there has to be death, and then it's just this continuous circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, her and Billy and Jen kind of have this back and forth talking about. She's like, so. Or Billy's like, so Rio is Agatha's. What did you say, girlfriend?
Or ex,
right? Mm-hmm. And she's death, and Jen's like, yeah, that kind of checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
of all girlfriends she would have, it'd be Lady Death.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that's when she explains about the flow of what the green witch is, and she's like the Green Witch with a capital G.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the original Green Witch. So, and I'm sure there's other people that have earn that power. I wonder if they're gonna lean into that if and or when they introduce Polaris, because her power set is green.
Okay.
And I wonder if that has anything to do with Loki becoming the god of stories, because he is controlling the flow of time, similar to how the Green Witch grows and decays, and he's branching these cell tree. I wonder if they're gonna play to that. And everyone have said that Rio Vidal, Aubrey Plaza's character of Death, is going to play an important role in the future of the MCU.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
So I wonder if they're going to lean in on that green magic and how it...
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it also, for me, it ignited an idea of the time stone being green also. So everything, this consistent flow of time has this green background consistently, no matter what.
I get that. Yeah.
So that's what this is something that popped up in my mind.
Okay.
So some more dialogue between Agatha and Rio. Rio wants to. Rio goes, well, what he wants from the road is a violation. And Agatha's like, what, finding his brother? She's like, borderline wasting the road's time. She goes, his brother's not out there, not yet. Anyway, Agatha's like, what do you mean? And Rio's like, the son of the Scarlet Witch stole a second life. I can't let him do the same for his twin. I have to take him.
Yeah.
Agatha's like, take him.
Yeah.
And then she realized, she's like, you can. She's like, because if Billy's killed, he'll reincarnate again, and she'll lose him. The only way she found Billy was because Billy was attracted to Agatha. And obviously, she's always watching Agatha.
Well, he went looking for Agatha, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I'm saying Rio's always watching Agatha.
Oh, right.
So had that not been the case, and had Agatha not encountered, Wanda and then Billy, Rio would have never found this abomination.
Yeah.
Well, in her eyes, an abomination. And then Agatha goes, and take him. Never mind. Yeah. So she's like, I can arrange that. I can get him to the finish line and deliver him to you. And she's like, in exchange for, she's like, if I deliver Billy, you let me go. So and when she dies, very, 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 very far away, whenever that time comes, Rio won't be there. She's like, I don't want to see your face.
Yeah.
Go damn.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, talk about just...
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
And then Rio's like, basically deal. She accepts the terms. And she walks to the back of what seems like the room.
This was fucking funny.
And she just fucking pulls her knife out and cuts it like it's a fucking backdrop. And it was obviously a backdrop.
Yeah.
In like reality. And she just cuts through and walks out the quote unquote road.
Literally as if we're watching the show being made.
Yeah.
And she just cuts the...
And I'm just like...
That felt out of place. Like, I was like, what are we watching right now? Like, what is happening?
It just made me lean more into the fact that it was a hex or an apparition.
That's what got your gears turning towards that? Okay.
Harder. Because I had mentioned in the previous episode that, like, what if this whole thing is just a hex? So we had that conversation. And it's reality warping powers nonetheless, similar to his mother. And that's what his power set is. And he's creating some alternate, like, limbo.
So then is that Rio breaking that?
Yeah.
Breaking through that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because she can travel between... Because similar to how they've
death. There's nowhere she can go.
Exactly, and similar to how they established recently how Galactus is going to be a singularity. He is the only Galactus in all universes. Mm-hmm. Rio is the same. There's no other Rio. There's not a variant.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not a variant Mephisto. There's not a variant Death and Eternity, Dormammu. There's no variants of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So those cosmic entities they're the same. The living tribunal. They're the same through every existence of any universe.
All right.
So it would make sense she'd be able to walk in and out of this. This Hex is child's play for her.
Yeah, you know what I mean? For sure.
She's been doing this for billions, zillions of years. You know what I mean?
Time began.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So for me, it just solidified one how powerful Mistress Death is, Lady Death is, and then two that this is not what we think it is.
Yeah, like, for sure. Yeah, that's where I was like, maybe this road isn't what we think it is, and I'm like, what's happening? I was like, okay.
Yeah. So then right there. It cuts back to they continue down to the final trial, and which is supposed to be the Green Witch trial, and so it's supposed to be, again, the circle of life, experiencing death and life all over again, and kind of just breaking through that. And they get back to where their shoes are at, and then so then Billy's like, the road's a circle. Yeah. And turns out
it's a circle.
Not like a triangle.
Yeah. Triangle has corners. Oh God, I love that.
If you guys haven't seen Chuck and Larry, go see if I can Chuck and Larry.
And now pronouncing Chuck and Larry, great movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. And now pronouncing Chuck and Larry. So Billy, they like all start arguing, and he's like,
the snaps, dude.
Yeah, she's like, if you don't know what to do, then basically shut your mouth.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut. And then he's like, and I think that's when Billy was like, wait, something isn't right. And I think Billy was eventually starting to
like doubt the road.
Yeah, and doubt his existence. And because he's made comments in the past, like, I'm starting to doubt that you have ever been on the road, and which is true. Yeah. And so Billy decides to just put his shoe on, and it flips them to the next trial. And it turns out that it's the basement of Agatha's house, and it's made to look like a morgue. Yeah. And they slide out of the wall, and they're in body bags. And Agatha pops out first.
Yeah, they had to literally unzip themselves from the bag.
It cuts to Agatha in the bag and a little tiny white light, and then it just like unzips more, and Agatha gets out, and then Billy does the same, and then Jen comes out, but she can't get out of the bag immediately, and Jen's like, "Don't take this from her."
Oh, Agatha's like, "Don't steal her struggle."
Oh yeah.
And then Billy's like, "All right," and then they watch her get out. That was funny.
I was pissed as fuck. You're watching me struggle. Just fucking open the bag for me, bro.
Exactly. Seriously, for sure.
I'd be pissed. And then that's when Agatha realizes that their personal belongings are still in there, she, the kid has his book, right?
Well, she gets her brooch. Jen gets her her jewelry back. Yeah. But he gets his book and he opens it and all the pages all smeared.
Yeah.
What the hell's that about?
I think the road did that so that he can dig deep from within instead of reading something tangible to rely on that and incantations and the spells. Okay. To be able to deep into himself instead of having the book to rely on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Similar to how when Peter Parker and Iron and Tony were on that one roof after the whole boat ferry situation, and he's like, "Oh, I'm nothing without the suit. You know what I mean? You can't take it from me." Like that's the vibe I was getting from that. Yeah, okay. And that book was like a crutch, and that's part of the reason why his powers haven't manifested like that. Because he was looking at it very tangible, very analytically, ones and zeros, and because he didn't really believe in the powers that he had. Okay. Because he didn't believe in who he was.
I follow that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I got when I saw the book all fucked up. You know, I was like, all right, cool. He's letting go of the crutch.
Stop using this. Start
let go of the security blanket. Yeah. You know, put on your big boy pants, take your pull-ups off, and let's go. Okay. So that's how I took that whole book situation. All right. And then they start arguing, and Billy asks, "How did he get bound? How did Jen get bound?" And she starts explaining the story. And Agatha's like,
she goes, "I still don't know how he did it." And then, then Agatha lets it slip. She goes, "Oh, that was you there?" She's like, "I didn't recognize you." Fucking turns out Agatha's one who bound Jen. What?
This whole time. And Agatha was oblivious to it.
So Agatha made herself to look like that guy or what?
Maybe it was someone she manipulated.
Oh, right. No, because that's what she said.
He had no powers.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't know that it was going to be you or that was you. She's like, I couldn't recognize you, blah, blah, blah. So then Jen.
I have a theory.
Okay.
So there's going to be a huge spoiler right here. Obviously, in episode 9, we find out that there's a con that Agatha is leading. Okay. I think that whole Boston University situation was a con that Agatha deployed to lure witches. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Jen was one of the people that got bound.
Got you.
But Jen never talked about anybody else that came to help. I'm sure other people were invited to that quote unquote program to help people or whatever.
Yeah.
But she was really trying to lure more witches so that she can steal their powers.
Okay.
So I think that whole thing was a con that Agatha had put on. Okay. Because maybe, the whole Witches Road deal was kind of lighting too many fires and she needed to lay low. Okay. But she still wanted to keep absorbing people's powers.
Okay.
So she's a con. She's a fucking huge. What's the word I'm looking for?
Con man.
Yeah. There's nothing that comes out of her mouth you can truly trust.
Yeah. Okay. All right then.
So that's what I got out of that. So whatever trap she was setting for witches, Jen fell victim to it, but thankfully only got bound and not power absorbed and murdered.
Yeah. Okay then. All right.
So that's what I got out of that too.
Okay.
This one out of the 2 episodes, I think gave us more information about everybody else.
Yeah.
The last episode was Agatha's.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And Nikki.
Yeah.
Where did I leave off at?
So then Jen decides to.
She
fucking rips Agatha's hair out. Yeah. Whang! Just like a lock of hair. Wraps.
Not a lock, bro. Like from the root.
Yeah.
And fucking enough to wrap.
A lock is a whole strand of hair, like a collective of whole strand of hair.
What it's called?
Yeah. Oh. Lock of hair. Yeah. So then she wraps Agatha's hands like this and binds them
with her hand.
with the strand of hair wrapped around, and then holds her hands and says,
an unbounding spell.
Yeah. But what does she keep repeating? You hold nothing, right? You hold nothing. I think is what she keeps saying. To get the
to unbind. It's an unbinding spell.
Yeah, to unbind. I think it is that you hold nothing. You hold nothing. She keeps telling her you hold nothing while holding her hands. To where like she almost breaks down crying, and then.
Well, she does when she hits the floor.
Yeah, and then the reason she hits the floor and starts crying is because
her powers.
When she lets go and she feels like this rush, and then she looks at her hands and you can see her pink magic glowing. And that's when she hit the ground. She's crying up, and then
I thought it was gonna be white magic.
White? Well, she was always in pink. Everything was pink with her. Why would you think white?
I don't know. For some reason, I felt like white magic fit her when she did the thing like that. Like the aura and it was like white behind her. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That was just a card, but yeah, everything's always been pink with Jen.
Yeah, I
saw
agree.
That coming. Yeah. So then she gets her magic, and then fucking she's gone. Yeah, out of the room. And
as if she completed the trial, she got what she wanted from the road, and the road said you're dismissed.
Yeah, and then this is like she completed the road, and then he's like, "Where'd she go?" And then what did Agatha say? Like. She's gone. The road took her or whatever. She
doesn't even say that.
She finished or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then
Agatha tells Billy to sit down.
Yeah.
She's willingly, openly trying to help him find Tommy.
Yeah.
And she explains to him that
she's like, you want to find Tommy, right?
Yeah. She's like, you can give Tommy another life. another spin around the dance floor, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting there. She's like, but you have to keep your eyes closed. And then she's like, they're both on like their knees and they're like kind of rocking back and forth, talking through it. And Agatha's like walking him through his entire mind. Similar to the episode of where Agatha had her powers and she walks Wanda through all of her memories. But we're not seeing this. We're just only hearing it. Yeah. So we hear the end of the season finale of WandaVision. We hear Vision chat. We hear Wanda chat. And they have that conversation. We hear Tommy. We hear them say goodbye to their mom and their dad. We hear, and we're hearing this heartfelt moment that is just, I would imagine, burned into his memory. You know what I mean? And
was the last thing he remembered before taking over William Kaplan's body.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then, so then Agatha grabs his head, and then it starts getting crazier and deeper. And he's like, oh, there's water. And
he's like, there's these kids playing a prank on.
But before that, she's like, I can't find them. She's like 120 bodies empty every minute. You're gonna find, like, basically.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a crazy statistic. If that's real,
it is.
That's fucking scary.
It 100% is real.
Yeah. That's nuts, dude.
Well, think about how big this world is.
I know.
If we didn't,
almost 8 billion people now,
we'd have an immensely overpopulated. Everybody would be thinking like Thanos if 120 people weren't dying every day.
Some of them already are. So
yeah, so
thinking like Thanos.
So yeah.
So she goes in his head and she helps him find Tommy, and
find a
kid.
person.
Yeah, drowning. Yeah, they're like, he has nobody. He doesn't have anybody there for him or something like that. And then he rips out this line that hit me hard.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Am I killing this boy so my brother can live?"
Yeah, to get Tommy a body. Yeah.
And
that was just
I was like, "Oh shit!"
And then after he says that line, he disappears. And the floor cracks.
Yes. Which was
right in front of Agatha.
Yes. I think that was the soft spot in his heart for Agatha to help her on the trial.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
I think that's where that crack came from.
And
I think it's happening unconsciously, similar to how Wanda was.
Okay.
When her hacks happened.
Yeah.
So then he disappears, and then Billy, like I said, we said Billy leaves the road, and Agatha goes, "No, Billy, sometimes boys die." And obviously she's thinking about Nikki really hard right now.
Yeah.
And then she's sitting there. She opens her locket. She opens her locket, and which maybe you guys can tell us in the comments. The dandelion, when you blow on it, those little like floaty thingies, whatever the fuck those things are called.
Yeah.
We called it the dandelion leaf / what was the other word we used?
No, I think we said
like a dandelion
stem
leaf
or whatever,
stem,
something
or whatever.
Not stem. Petal, I called it.
Petal, yeah. Whatever the hell
petal.
It's called, I have no idea. But I know if you blow them, they all like fucking flow off.
Stick to everything.
In her brooch, she has a little bit of hair, and one of those pushed to the back, and then she goes.
She grabs it.
She realizes that to complete the trial, she's like, out of death comes life, and so she's in tears already. So she uses her tears with that little leaf petal thing, and then she puts it into the ground where it cracked,
and covers it,
pats it down to make something.
Meanwhile, the lights are flickering, and they said that they were glowing. They're growing lights. The lights that are spiraled on the ceiling.
Oh, good call. They are.
Yeah, she's like, they're growing lights, and then so they keep flickering and then disappearing one at a time.
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, I need more time.
And she I looked like she gave up.
Yeah.
Like she was about to start crying, I feel like.
And then out sprouts this little green guy. And
then the little sunflower comes out, and then it flips into a dandelion. And then, maybe not a sunflower. Are those sunflowers?
Sunflower, no. It's,
different.
but anyway, it grows and opens up. And then what happens at this point?
The ceiling starts to cave in. Yeah, and she's like, so she starts running out the stairs, and then she's like, I completed the trial. And then they let it. She's like, I completed the trial. I did what you asked of me, something like that. And then it unlocks and it opens, and then now it is the storm doors from her basement to her backyard.
Yeah.
And when she comes out, we hear Rio fucking laughing like
on the roof.
Oh my god, just the best witch laugh.
Yeah, man,
the most authentic one you can hear. I said that
before. Yeah.
And so Rio confronts her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have a ribbon for you to finish."
Oh no, the tape for you to run through. She said,
"Yes, yeah, for completing the road or whatever."
Hilarious.
And she's like, "I want my prize," and Rio's like, "So do I, honey." Mm-hmm. And then she looks up and she looks like, "Oh, it's in the what phase is the moon in?"
I think it's full, isn't it?
No, it's the bottom part.
Crescent.
Yeah, but I don't know what phase.
I forgot what she said.
Fire phase, no?
I think so.
I
can't recall.
So she grabs like salt/sand and starts making a circle around her, a circle of protection, and she starts this incantation in
Latin.
Mm-hmm. And it's to cast evil away.
Yeah.
And then Rio's like.
Fucking blows big ass gust of wind.
She's like, "You're calling me evil?" She's like, "I'm the natural order of all things."
Yeah.
And then that's when she fucking blows, and then fucking their circle disappears.
Just blows it all. A big, huge gust of wind just comes and blows it all away.
Yeah. She's like, "You coward!" And as we know,
she yells out, "You coward!" And then Agatha's like, I don't know if she says it out loud or in her head.
She says it out loud.
Okay, she goes, "When she calls you coward, hit the deck." And then she looks and then she drops. And then fucking sink comes flying.
Kitchen sink. The whole fucking kitchen sink. She literally threw the kitchen sink at her, guys.
Yeah.
Like the whole metaphor. Like
goes right over her. And I thought that moment was going to be bigger than what it was. Like I thought.
Oh, because we kept seeing it in the trailers?
No, because of what Lilia said. She's like, when she says... Because what was going to happen? She gets hit with the sink. Okay, she gets hit with the sink. But, like...
That shit came fast.
Yeah, but...
That would have decapitated her, bro.
Okay,
she has no powers at that moment.
All right. But, like, okay. So, she doesn't... Or she says that and she drops. But then, like, Rio does nothing about that. I would have been like, how the hell did you see that coming? Like, what?
Rio knows.
You think so? I don't know. But I was just like, yeah, you get... I guess I was let down because there was no like discussion about that moment. There was nothing more to that moment. Mm-hmm. And that being Lilia's last piece of advice, I thought it was going to be a bigger deal. So maybe I was just expecting more of that moment.
I mean, but what she told Billy and what she told Jen didn't pay off really much. Big.
Exactly right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I guess I was expecting more from those moments than there was to it.
They're just key things that they needed to know because Agatha doesn't live that. She doesn't survive that kitchen sink being thrown at her.
Right.
Yeah. And what all the other things for Jen and Billy, like they become who they are. You know, Jen survives.
Yeah.
You know, all of that happens because of Lilia's sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that was the significance.
All right.
You know what I mean? And she gave them one last little hint. That's it.
Okay. Well, then she deals with all that, and then Billy answers the chat.
Hell yeah.
He comes in looking like a boss.
Fucking things up with the green bubbles and everything.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but he comes in full on Wiccan.
Yes.
Full on.
Super dope ass costume.
Hell
which
yeah.
We know from social media, some images were shared of the
costume designer.
The costume, and it's the cape on the inside has a digital print similar to his father's cape. Vision's cape.
No, that's correct. His
and
father,
the cowl is similar to Wanda's crown.
So it's basically a combination of the two of his two parents.
And then in the stitching, there's like runes that are stitched in there. Apparently, like an X for looking like X-Men's mutant situation.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool things that are, and then like one of the runes looks like Wanda's crown. And then the sides and like armpit situation and like the legs, there's like this star pattern, which in the comics it looks like a galaxy. Like as he's standing, it moves.
Oh, cool.
Like it's like a cool illusion that he has around in his costume.
Yeah.
He has those two metal circle things on the side of his belt, and then in the middle of his belt. It's really comic book accurate.
Yeah.
Just the cape really was a little bit smaller and more form fitting to him in the show, and in the comics it's form fitting too, but it's a lot more flowy. It's like
Like the way Doctor Strange's cape flows and stuff?
No, it's Doctor Strange's size of a cape, but it's more flowy like Spawn.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Then, yeah.
But I like this one. This one was
great.
more tighter. It was shorter, and it fit Billy.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was his first version of the costume. He's gonna
sure
the cape with
there.
maturity. The cape's gonna grow and stuff
sure
like that,
there,
and he'll get a little bit more dramatic with it, as all witches do.
Yeah.
You know.
So when he gets there, he goes, "Don't take it all," and then he shoots her with his power.
Yeah.
And he gives Agatha the power. She's taking it. And then right as he starts to start draining on his skin, you see it. Then she stops it. So it's like, oh, okay, so she knows how to stop it now.
Yeah.
Or at least she just decided to now.
Yeah.
So then her and Rio have this battle, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Well, Rio just dismisses fucking Wicked or Billy first, sends him flying. Yeah. And then when he's getting up out of the shed, I told you I heard this part that I didn't hear the first time. And then
what Rio says?
Yeah, Rio tosses Billy, and then Rio says, "Power looks good on you," and Agatha goes, "Everything looks good on me."
Yeah.
And then Billy comes back, tosses Rio, kind of gets his back at her, and throws her into the house.
Well, because she knocks Agatha down.
Yeah, so Agatha, Rio hits Agatha, but she does like this arm crossing thing to dismiss the blast around her, and then she hits her back. But when it comes at Rio, she does this spin move, and then she blasts, and then it hits Agatha right in the chest, and she starts bleeding internally and from the mouth.
Yeah.
And then that's when
Rio goes over to her, and then
she was gonna try to do the final blow essentially.
Yeah,
and then Billy's like, "Fuck you!" and
Yes.
sends her flying into the house.
Into the house,
into the house, straight through the front door. No knocking, did not ring the doorbell.
Yeah.
So she didn't take her shoes off either.
Nope.
Oh, she didn't even have shoes actually.
But
did you see the making of it? On the internet where they show that they're barefoot through most of the road. They have barefoot shoes sock situations.
Yeah,
super cool.
I figured that.
And so they were painting Billy's toes on the shoes. Black, so he has black toenails on the road.
That's funny.
It was pretty cute.
Nice.
Let me see.
So they're fighting, and they get towards the end of the fight, and then Agatha just goes to leave Billy.
Well, it's because Agatha tells Billy that they can't win. She's like, "This is pointless. We know we can't win." And Agatha tells Billy that he's not bad. And he goes, neither is she. And he says, she goes, that you're the only one that thinks so.
Yeah.
And so Billy gets up and offers himself to death.
Oh, that's right.
And that was big because I think Billy was expecting her to come to his aid immediately.
She's like, "All right, you got this? I'm going to go."
Yeah. And literally exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So Agatha just accepts that he's
like,
she's like,
"Wait, really? I thought you were going to stick up for me." Like, what the hell?
I thought you were going to be like, "No, hold me back. Hold me back.
Yeah. That was funny. So then Rio's like, she looks at it and she's like, "What?" Turns around, and then Agatha's like, "You said if I delivered them to you, you let me go." And then what does she say that gets Agatha to turn around?
What does who say?
What does Rio say? Doesn't she tell her something?
No, Billy does.
What does Billy say?
Billy goes, I thought, and then she just turns around. She's like, "Hey, I'm just a covenantless witch," and then laughs and walks away. And then Billy telepathically speaks to her.
That's what it was.
So when Billy telepathically speaks to her, he goes, Billy gets in her mind and he asks, "Is this how Nikki died?"
Yeah.
And then struck a fucking string hard, and she's like, she turns around, walks up to Rio, and no, she turns around, and then when she turns around, she's starting to walk up to Rio, but Rio doesn't realize it just yet, and Rio tells Billy, "Let's go." And then oh no, I lied to you. I jumped ahead.
Okay.
So the kiss of death happens. So Billy, so Agatha kisses Rio. Yeah. I don't think it was that hot of a kiss.
Hot. If I got here, it was hot. They were full on making out, and I was enjoying it.
I'm sure they did.
It was awesome.
Aubrey Plaza, she's an interesting character. She is now made out with Wanda and Agatha.
When did she make out with
in the
Elizabeth
other movie
Olsen?
that they were in?
Oh, okay. I didn't see this.
And they've it was not Marvel related.
Send me that movie. No,
well, you saw the clip where like they're on SNL or something.
She smacks her butt. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, that's not like a press thing. Yeah. But what I liked about this is when they start kissing, you could see like green veins start coming up on Agatha's face,
similar to like poison ivy.
Yeah. And then it starts growing, and then it turns into like this smoke coming off of her, and like it starts to encase her, and she starts to float. And then as she floats, she just gets embodied by the whole thing, and then poof.
Well, she lays down.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it lays her down.
And then it picks her up. She lays flat in the air,
and then it decays her like to bones,
to bone until nothing eventually.
Well, at first to bone, and then like they're looking at it, and then
the bone crushes in or deteriorates.
So it's as if all the years that she was scaving death off were just coming by all at once.
Yeah.
And then literally buried her, and then flowers grew from it, or mushrooms grew from it, whatever
all
it was.
All the above.
And then she has a grave right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we think, wow, Agatha's gone. She's dead. Yep. And then Rio leaves, right?
Yeah. Well, Rio goes, she lets Billy go. She's like, you can go.
Yeah. Just like that, you can go. And then
he fucking walks off. He don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I'd have been gone too.
Say less. Yeah. And then Rio just leaves. Yeah. And then, like you said, we see Billy going, because the townspeople are watching this shit happen. At least the fight with Rio.
Oh my god, yeah. They're like, is this
looking.
Happening again?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They're starting shit bricks. Yeah.
So then he comes out.
And he walks out just
like,
and I mentioned this a little bit earlier. He walks out just how his mom did at the end of the episode. Throws the hood on, walks off slowly, gets in the car, drives off, and just has this like, what just happened kind of look, you know? And it's just exactly how Wanda walked off from WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
So Billy goes home. His parents were worried sick, and I think it makes him happy to feel loved, to have his parents like miss him.
Yeah.
Even though he's not Billy Kaplan, but he loves them nonetheless.
Yeah. So yeah, then he's like, I just need to get cleaned up, and goes and showers, and then goes in his room.
He starts walking around the room curiously,
noticing shit.
Yeah. Like, and I had mentioned this in the previous episode when we first saw his room. I'm like, everything we've seen in the road so far is in this room, and everything we continue to see in this room was in this room still. On the road was in his room still.
Yeah.
So like everything. And now there's nothing that was in his room that didn't show up in the road.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even the posters were in the end credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like they slapped us in the face with the answers early.
Yeah.
And some people caught on. I had like an inkling, but I was nowhere near like as positive as I thought like Mephisto was going to be in WandaVision. Like, I was like, oh, it could be a Hex situation again, you know? And then I flirted with the idea, but I was like, oh, damn, they duped us.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then he's looking around, he's starting to realize that he might have created this fucking
he starts seeing things that were in each trial, and as he sees it flashes back to that trial. And then each one happens, and then he gets to something to where he hears something, and he turns around.
Well, after he grabs the Ouija board,
that's what it was.
That's when he hears Agatha. Well, obviously the Ouija board, you speak to spirits. Ghost. It made sense. And then we hear Agatha's laugh, and then she goes boo.
He turns around, and then we hear boo, and then he's like, ah, and then episode ends.
And then we jump into number 9.
Yes, number 9.
Oh my god, take us down this road.
Yeah, so episode 9, titled Maiden Mother Crone. The truth of Agatha Harkness and the Witch's Road is revealed. So we start the episode with Agatha in labor, by herself, just in the woods. And she stops at a tree to essentially give birth, and this is where her contractions just stop her. So she takes out a lemon, she cuts into 3 pieces, and she takes, I guess, the middle piece and just bites
the biggest
down,
piece,
and clamps down on it. Never heard of this. Have you known this to be a thing?
No.
Okay.
I just feel like she probably needed something to bite down on.
Correct. Yeah. So so she bites down on that while
Get
she's
some electrolytes from the
pretty much. So while she's having contractions, she's biting down on that, and then but while she's having contractions, she sees Rio / Death in the distance, just looking at her, and then Rio starts making her way to Agatha, and then Agatha starts saying like no, she starts pleading with her, no, it cannot be. So which Rio says it must be. And then Agatha says that if she does this, she will hate her. In the
beginning, she says, "My love, no."
No, that comes next.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she goes, "If you do this, I will hate you forever." And then Agatha begs her, "Please." She goes, "Let him live, please, my love, please."
Oh yes.
Yeah. And then Rio then says and Rio's looking at her with like the deepest sorrow. She's like she doesn't want to do this.
Yeah. She looks hurt.
Yeah, yes.
And this is the moment that she was talking about when they were sitting around the campfire, where she's like, I
did something I had to do, but I didn't want to. Yeah.
And it hurt somebody I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to do this, but I just had to do my job.
Yeah, exactly. So then Rio says, "I can only offer time." And then Agatha asks, "Well, how much time?" And then
Rio just disappears.
She vanishes. Rio's gone. So then we're like, huh. Agatha's like, okay. And then Agatha has Nicholas, his birth. His cute little baby Nicholas. And then she's holding Nicholas.
This is big.
Yes. For the first time. And Agatha says, "I spoke no spell. I said no incantation. You were made from scratch."
That's why his last name is Nicholas Scratch.
I love that. It's really adorable. It's so cool. That's so cool. So then Agatha is walking in the woods carrying a crying Nicholas, and then she comes upon a group of women, and a woman like comes over to Agatha and asks, "Is the baby well?" And Agatha's like, "Yeah, we haven't eaten in days." Yeah. And then the woman then speaks Latin, basically welcoming Agatha, and then past some stones that seem to be some kind of like, they light up when she crosses it, but they're like a barrier or a border?
Like similar to the sand.
A protection barrier. Then. Yeah. Okay. And that Latin spell is probably to
allow her
entry. Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
because otherwise they were about to get fried.
Well, I mean, after being welcomed in, Agatha gets closer to them, and then they're offering her like a cup of a drink, and they all get closer to her, and then the camera pans out, and then you just start hearing no witches or sisters gather, blah, 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 and then like you start hearing no, and then you see the purple flashes, and Agatha kills them, takes their power, but her and Nicholas are now full, and they're walking off. But then 6 years later happens, and
Nicholas is a big ass 6-year-old.
Why you say that? I thought he was about a 6-year-old.
Nah, that kid looked like he's 9-10.
Really? I didn't
so.
see that. Okay. I mean, he is magic, dude. So it could be an explanation. We gotta suspend disbelief on this one. Maybe that was just the actor that they could get.
True.
But anyway, so 6 years later, and they're in a small town, and Nicholas and Agatha have this like scam going.
Yeah.
Where they do to get witches close to Agatha so that she can steal their power.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Agatha's now con man, and Nicholas is her partner.
Full on Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah. So Nicholas asks Agatha while they're walking after she's killed some witches. He goes, "Why do you kill witches?" And Agatha tells him to survive. And then she's like, otherwise they would kill us. And then...
Well, no. He goes, "Why don't we try to survive with the witches?"
Oh, like live there, but not, live with them, but not kill them.
Yeah. And she's like, "They'll try to kill us."
Yeah, that's what it was. And then she tells him, this is what you have to do to survive. She goes,
"You'll get used to this feeling."
Yeah. She's like, if you want to survive, get used to this feeling.
Yeah.
Now, this is important because this comes back around. So then Nicholas begins to sing a song that he made up, and it goes, walk the road. We walk the windy road. So that was...
he goes, "I walk the
windy road." Right. I walk
the... She goes, "You walk it alone?"
Yeah. So they changed it to we walked the winding road. Yeah. So then Nicholas asked to make. So they stop, and then Nicholas is like, "I'm hungry. Can you make us some food?" And then she goes, "I cannot." Yeah. And then she tells him, "I can cast illusions. I can control a feeble mind. I can move objects using my will, but I cannot heal you or protect you from what's coming. And I cannot divine when she will return." Nicholas asks, "Who will return?" And then that's like, here's where things start to go south. So Nicholas is singing down the witch's road now. Yeah. Now it's the actual song at a bar for a crowd of people. And a woman asks, "Where did you come by such a curious song?" And then she invites him to go with her. And he declines, saying his mother needs him home, and just runs off. Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the end of Nicholas right there. I thought Nicholas running off, and he was just never going to come back. I thought Rio was going to just collect him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I think she ran off the way she did, and she just didn't give a shit about her hat blowing off, because she was worried about Nicholas being collected.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a fair point. So then Nicholas and Agatha set up camp in the woods, and they fall asleep together. Which is a real nice moment. But then Nicholas wakes up in the middle of the night, and Rio standing in the distance holding a torch, but it's a green flame, which is fucking cool. Look really cool. But I didn't know what that green flame meant. Maybe it's just her.
Yeah.
Because it's her magic, right? Okay. And then she waves to him for him to come with her.
Yeah, she was like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then he goes to her, and then they just walk off together.
Well, she goes to leave, and she goes... And she points at Agatha.
Oh, yeah, to not get her.
No.
He says no to her.
No, she tells him no and points at Agatha, and he turns around and gives her 2 kisses on the cheek.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I did not catch this.
2 kisses? Oh, my God. That's when I cried.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
Yes.
I didn't see that. Okay.
So Rio
Let's go back.
let her...
Let him say goodbye.
Yeah, and let Agatha feel a kiss. Even though she was unconscious, she was sleeping.
She was sleeping. Yeah,
but
still, that moment still happened.
Oh my God! So I was like, oh,
yeah. No, I get it. Had I caught that, I probably would have been the same, but I didn't see that. So then they walk off, and then it cuts to Agatha waking up in the morning, and she looks at Nicholas. Nicholas's body's still there. So turns out that was his soul the whole time, and then. She wakes up and she's like,
I think
Nicholas.
Now you say that, I think that green light, because it was the same green aura that was around when Alice got taken.
Okay.
And it's the only other body we get see, or soul we see get taken.
Okay.
I think that's her way of
taking them beyond.
Yeah, they're
okay.
Like when they're in Greek mythology movies or like Hercules, there's that green aura when they're in the underworld where the 3 witches are.
Oh,
he's riding the boat.
Yeah,
I think that green aura is signifying that this soul is on a path down to the end.
All right, fair. And then
the end of time, technically.
Yeah. Okay. So then we see Agatha wake up, and then she's like, Nicholas, and she's trying to wake up. She's like, Nicholas, and then she realizes what happens.
She's crying.
She's like, no, I wanted more time. And that was a tough scene. So then she's like, packing up and stuff, and then a lady comes.
No, she just buried him.
Oh, right, she buried him.
She buries him, and she puts the little piece of dandelion leaf, and then
no, just the hair. She puts the hair in the locket. Oh, remember, she doesn't have that thing.
We don't see her.
That was only ever in there for the trial. That was never in there, never part of her locket ever.
Oh, I didn't pay attention.
Yeah. It's only the hair she puts in there, and then she closes it.
Which we now know, and we had been theorizing that it was Nikki's.
Yeah, I don't think we ever thought it was anything else.
Yeah, that was always the leading idea or the theory.
Right. So then
the lady walks up and she's like, "How dare you?"
yeah, bitch, I'm having a moment here. Like, what the hell? But yeah, or witch, I'm having a moment here. Oh, yeah, so then she asked her, if she could help her, find the road, right?
Right.
And then she's like, yes. She goes, your query.
You inquired so kindly. I must respond in kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she gets her to get her coven, and then they go just to a spot in the woods that Agatha's like, all right, this is a good spot.
So we start hearing the montage, and we hear the song playing. Down, down.
So first
down,
we just
down.
see this coven, and then it ends and she goes, where's the door, or where's the road? And then
she's like, you call yourself witches?
Yeah, and then they get all pissed and they blast her, and then she absorbs it, kills them.
Yeah.
And then we get this montage of literally just over the decades her doing the same con over and over.
Changing like outfits to fit the time era that she's living in.
We see like medieval, and then we see like 90s, I want to say.
We get up to 90s,
yeah. And then what happens after that montage? Agatha, because really, then it just then we cuts to Billy, and we pick up where we left off the last episode.
We're back in Billy's room, right?
So that basically just told Agatha's origin right there. That first half of the episode, which is Mother Maiden Grown. So then it cuts to Billy, and now we see him turning around because he's hearing Agatha's laugh, and when he turns around, Agatha just pops out of thin air and goes boo, and scares the shit out of him, which is really funny. And then she's a ghost now, gray hair, looking awesome, but she's a full-on ghost. And then he's like, I saw you die, and she goes, I'm a ghost now. And then she just like appeared out of nowhere, and then now that she's a ghost, she's like, I'm still trying to figure out the rules, and she like tries to like smack him, and then she's like, oh, this is disappointing. And then he just starts to ask her some questions, and he's
Billy asks Agatha, did I make the road?
Well, no, first he goes, I saw you die, and she goes, yeah, I didn't sacrifice myself for you. I took a calculated risk. And then that's when he asks, he goes, did I make the road? And then she says,
unlike your mother.
Yeah. Sorry, Wanda, you did something interesting with your power. She's like, the ballad is a trick. She's like, it's a con to lure other gullible witches. She goes, a song doesn't mean anything. It never did. She goes, the road wasn't real until you made it real, which answers the question. It was Billy all along.
Yep.
He's the one who made, like you said, the, what did you call it?
His version of the hex.
Yeah.
Maybe the term hex might not be what it really is.
I don't think it was, but it was
his reality warping powers.
Reality warping powers. Thank you.
Created this pocket.
Yeah.
Hole in the floor, essentially, literally.
Yeah. So then,
before you go too far, so like we were talking about this off camera, and we were talking about they go through the basement, and through the basement is how they got into the Witch's Road, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. Now there's the basement, regular floor level underneath, and then they went underneath to the Witch's Road.
Yeah.
Below that is like the subway tunnels.
Yeah.
Of what Mrs. Hart talked about. There's an abandoned subway tunnel down there no one uses.
Yeah.
So that was my first like really solid evidence that like maybe this isn't what we think it is. Mm-hmm. We see the road and Agatha, I'm sorry, not Agatha. Lilia and Jen were thrown off the road, but they went down.
Yeah.
So they went to a lower level, to the actual under level ground with where they were at.
Yeah.
And I think that's how the Salem 7 were able to get in and out, because they came in under the road.
Yeah.
Through the real reality, and then broke into his reality to get there. And so that's where I was just like, that don't make sense, because like In the Hex, I think obviously Wanda's powers are way stronger. She's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
But Wiccan and Billy, like they rival Agatha's power. Oh, yeah. It's not as definite. I
would say his powers will get that strong. Yeah.
Yeah, can get that strong. I don't think in the comics it ever portrayed that he becomes as strong as his mother. Okay. But he definitely gets up there and rivals. Okay. For sure. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Like, so basically, also there's those like 13 levels of hell and purgatory and all that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe this was just the normal world, the witch's road, and then another like sub level of it where they were walking underneath in the Salem 7. We see the trolley or the train or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that mid level was is where the road existed, and it turned out to be a circle. Mm-hmm. And the reason I bring that up is because where you're leading into right now. So.
Yeah. So then Billy, after Agatha confirmed that he made the road, Billy kind of breaks down and he's like, "So I killed all the witches." And then Agatha's like, "Well, if you actually do the math on it, you saved a life."
Yeah.
And then we cut to Jen crawling out of the grass. Yeah. Right outside of the Westview sign.
Yeah. Which is where Jimmy Woo and
Photon were. Yeah. And then Monica Rambeau. Yeah. And then she gets out and she looks, kind of like takes a deep breath, and then just flies off.
Yeah. She ignites her hands and then flies off.
And she's gone.
Yeah.
So he saved Jen's life. I couldn't have called that. I did not see Jen lasting throughout the road. I would more so saw Lilia.
I was rooting for Lilia.
Yeah.
Because she was my favorite of the coven.
Same.
Yeah. So I told you I had recently done acupuncture, and the doctor that I see, she does tarot card reading and Reiki healing.
Oh, okay.
And she's in love with the show. I had shared with her that we have this podcast, and she's like, "Oh, perfect. So hopefully you see this episode."
Yep.
I'm not gonna say your name, but
right.
So thanks for the cupping.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just kidding.
But you said you said something very interesting that she said.
She said that the story told behind Lilia and the depiction that they gave of a tarot card reader was very, very accurate. It wasn't this
the way she did the reading of the tarot cards was accurate.
Okay. And even just her whole personality and how it wasn't this fake crystal ball reader that she was pretending to be. Yeah. It was real. It's a real spiritual. Well, if you believe in it, it's a real spiritual journey that you walk down. And Reiki healing is something I've done, and it feels amazing. It works with your chakras and balancing them, and they're able to identify what chakras are being locked up so that your energy can now.
I'm down to do
flow.
that. Yeah, I'm down to do that. Nice.
It's not super expensive, but it's not cheap. But if you're going to do it, I recommend you have to be committed to it. It doesn't mean you waver from believing in your religion or Jesus Christ or any of that. That's not what Reiki asks you to do. It's more like
your energy and stuff.
Correct.
Like that. Yeah.
And just being more natural and grounded and rooted with Mother Earth, essentially.
Okay.
And that's what she was saying. She's like, Lilia is just so rooted. She's had her issues with her premonitions and her powers, and she was scared of them, and she just didn't want to know her death, kind of thing. She's like, but they did a really good job of representing the real tarot card readers.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I love
really
that.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I was saying, you got to imagine that they did, because if not, they knew they would get backlash for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So then Agatha tells Billy, if you want to be a witch, get used to this feeling. Just like she told Nikki, which is interesting. And Billy says, I'll never get used to this. And Agatha says, we'll see. Very interesting. So then Billy goes back to Agatha's basement, to the door that they entered the witch's road through. And then Agatha joins them there. She just pops up chilling on the washer and dryer.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what are we doing here? And then Billy starts searching through the basement looking for things. And he gathers candles, chalk, and a spell book. Mm-hmm. And then he draws
he doesn't gather spell book immediately.
Right, but
he calls for it, which was fucking cool.
Calls it through Agatha.
Yeah.
So she's sitting in front of it and just goes, and she's like, so then So
the reason why Agatha shows up to Billy is because she's looking for her brooch.
Yeah.
So, and obviously she can't touch it just yet.
Mm-hmm. So then Billy draws his like pentagon thing on the door.
Pentagon.
Yeah, it's a pentagon thing. I just don't say pentagon. I say pentagon.
No, maybe we're not saying it correctly then.
That's what I was trying to ask you what it was called before.
Yeah, me and Christina said it.
You guys said it, pentagon. You said his pentagon.
No.
And I'm like...
Well, okay, continue. Okay. I'll look it up right now.
His pentagon in a hexagon, I think is what you guys said. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he draws that thing on the door, and then he puts candles all over there, and then he lights the candles, like through his magic, and then he starts reading a spell in Latin, and then
it is a banishment incantation.
Yeah, and then Agatha's like, "What are you doing?" And then he's like, "I'm banishing you," and she's like, "What? No," she goes, "You can't do this," and then he's like, he says, "I'm doing this because it's time for you to go towards the light or into Real's toxic embrace." He goes, "Whatever it is, wherever you're gonna go." He goes, "It doesn't. I don't care anymore."
Yeah.
And then Agatha starts to disappear a little bit, and he keeps saying the spell over and over. And then while he's saying it, Agatha's trying to knock out the brooch from his hand. And then Billy's like, wait, what did he say? He goes, "Oh, why won't you just go?" And then Agatha goes, "'Cause I don't want to face him, or I can't face him." And then when she says that, she finally hits the brooch out of his hand. It falls, and then everything stops. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, "Nicholas?" And then he's like, "I'm sure, he would forgive you for whatever you did." And then she's like, "See, when you say things like that, you remind me of him." That was a nice moment.
Really
it was
cute.
really sweet. And then after that, Billy uses his magic to put Sharon Davis, Alice Wu Gulliver, and Lilia Caldero's their names engraved in the ground of the Pentagon, like right in the middle, which was nice. It was like his little like memorial for them.
Mm-hmm. But he also seals the door.
Oh yeah, and he seals the door. Yes, the door's gone. It's just in the concrete now. And then Agatha says, when one door closes, Billy says, another one opens. And then he looks at the cellar door, and then he goes like that, and he opens it. And then Agatha then says, "Let's go find Tommy." And then they both walk out. End of the series.
I fucking love that.
It was fucking great.
Perfect ending. Perfect send off.
So good, dude. So that hopefully will lead to a Wiccan series in which he goes on a journey to find Tommy. Yeah. And now Agatha is now his
spirit guide, essentially.
His spirit guide. The Obi to his Luke, essentially.
Like a witch ghost.
Yeah.
Force ghost.
Yeah, like a force ghost just guiding him. And I'm all for it. So Agatha is dead. She is 100% dead. She is now a ghost, and that is for sure. And like we said, she's now his spirit guide, so she will be following Billy and guiding him through his journey.
Mm-hmm. And I told you
we don't know.
There's a comic line of Agatha with being a spirit guide for Wanda.
Oh, okay.
Remember I was telling you about this and when we watched episode 7.
Yeah.
And we were just theorizing about stuff like that.
Yeah.
So long before Agatha Harkness became the nanny of Franklin Richards, the Fantastic Four, she lived in...
before.
Yeah. Well, she lived in Salem. So this is kind of giving some background. No. This after she was...
his caretaker.
Yeah. But this is just saying...
She was a ghost after that.
Correct.
Oh, I thought you said that.
I'm just saying long before she was that. I was going to explain a little bit about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said long before she was a ghost, or long before she was his caretaker. She was a ghost. I was like, what? So she comes back? What?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure that probably can happen, but that I'm aware of, I don't know.
Okay.
But I was just leading that she long before she was that or anything we know her of. She comes from New Salem, and she comes from a community populated of almost entirely of witches and warlocks.
Ooh, okay.
So not only was she a coven, and she had a coven of women, she also came from a community of a lot of men that have powers. Mm-hmm. Hence, how if he had matured, Nicholas, he would have became a warlock.
Yeah,
similar to them, similar to her and her in the coven where she comes from.
Okay. So it's crazy. So like. This whole time when Agatha was like, the truth is worse than what they think of her, Nicholas was supposed to die at birth. She was supposed to lose her baby during childbirth. Mm-hmm. And Rio just decided to give her some time with the baby. And so that's why I guess it's fair to say why Agatha hates Rio so much.
Yeah.
Just because of that. And Rio's like, I was just doing my job. Like, unfortunately.
And Rio looked really sad doing
Dude.
it. She did. She looked heartbroken. She didn't even look pale.
Give it up for fucking Aubrey Plaza. She played every, range of emotion for Rio, and she nailed it perfectly.
She did a great job. I don't think she did as good as Catherine Hahn, but I think hers...
There was more Catherine Hahn played in this whole thing. She had way more screen time.
Well, okay, fair.
So, you know what I mean? But, I think... And it's not just them. Like I said before, every single person on this project did a phenomenal job. Absolutely knocked it out of the park.
So the reason why I brought up the comics about Wanda, because in the comics, Agatha and Wanda have always been like rivals. Wanda's the one that killed Agatha and made her into a ghost.
Oh, okay.
Right. So very similar to this situation. She said it was a calculated risk, but it was either Wiccan or Agatha. So directly
in that moment.
No, I'm saying in the moment we watched.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, it was one or the other. One of them was gonna die, and
huge bummer if it would have been Wiccan and be like, what? Yeah.
No, I would have been pissed.
People would have burned the internet down.
Jola killed it.
Yeah,
and we would have been mad. I was sad that she's gonna be a ghost, but only because I know she's in multiple comics as a ghost. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
So
I would have liked to seen her doing her thing in modern times a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I think it'd have been cool to see. But yeah, I mean this series was phenomenal. Let's get our stone ratings on Agatha All Along.
Oh, easy, bro. I'm gonna give this a 5.5.
Really? Okay. All right. I'm gonna give it solid 6 stones. I thoroughly loved this series. Everything it gave me, blew my socks off, all that good jazz. I really, really, really enjoyed it, and especially like I said before, because it's a new project from Marvel. We haven't seen anything else like this.
Okay.
WandaVision was on the same spectrum, but it was a different style.
Yeah. So I guess let's dive into that conversation we were having with our buddies in the chat with Film Addicts. So now that they've broken it down to television, animation, and then the Marvel Studios, which is the films, this year coming up, we're getting 3 films, 3 animations, and 3 television.
Hell yeah, we're back to the normal way of Marvel. Yeah.
Well. But it's going to
be. They said that they wanted to scale it back too, so I don't know what happened.
That's why they broke it down into divisions.
Okay.
So now you can scale it back.
So now we don't think it's all coming at us at once,
right?
Yeah.
So now we know it's coming from these 3 different divisions.
There's different lanes,
right?
Yeah.
And exactly, and people are staying in their lanes, and now they can communicate effectively to the other parts, the other legs of the whole MCU, and say, all right, cool. And this is why Agatha works so well. And what I was saying was, and I know you're probably going to try to chew me out, I enjoyed the entertainment and the acting of She-Hulk, but it wasn't portrayed like a true show. There wasn't a real showrunner. It was directed like a very long movie.
Okay.
Multiple episode, just a really long movie.
Okay.
And that's partly because of the success of Loki season 1 and 2 and WandaVision.
Okay.
They are both flukes of nature because they are not a movie, they're not really a show, and they're not a series. Even though Loki has a second season, Loki
definitely plays out like a movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's not something that's ever been done before, and it worked. Again, back to and I'm glad you made this point earlier before I got to this point. We are invested into Loki's story because he's been there since the first Avengers movie. And then, actually since the first Thor,
yeah.
And then right into the Avengers movie. And he was the first villain we ever met. And he's come back. We've seen some heartfelt when he dies.
Yeah.
And then, and then Loki just hit us hard with the emotional side of Loki that we just didn't really know.
Yeah, for sure.
And it worked. Tom Hiddleston is an amazing actor, and I don't think we would have had Loki season 1 and 2 if Tom Hiddleston didn't play Loki.
Correct.
So that's why I'm saying Echo had, in my mind, had potential. It just didn't hit.
Yeah, it fell flat.
It was entertaining. It just didn't hit because they tried to emulate what they did with WandaVision and Loki, and I don't think they can ever not the story.
I think it's just that you hold the MCU televisions to those standards, so then anything you see on like other than that, you're gonna compare to that.
Correct.
But I don't think it's fair because
hold on. Then, before you cut that part off, this is the part that's important.
Okay.
Reason why Agatha works is because it's done like a real show. If it was on NBC, ABC,
right.
CW, like the reason why Flash worked is because they had a showrunner, and then every episode told its own story, and then they all connected to a full on series. Like Suits. Suits works because every episode they're doing something different, but then they all come towards the end of the season finale.
Story,
exactly,
yeah.
And that's how Agatha worked. WandaVision didn't really have that. It was a really big, long movie. Loki was a really big, long movie. Echo was a really big, long movie that just didn't work. Now, the She-Hulk thing that killed it for me was the shitty CGI. Even though you don't think so, I think so. And the majority of the world thought so too. I am not the casual watcher. I am
the first iteration of it where she looked like Fiona, but like for the show,
I also didn't like the villain. The fucking bulked up lame because he took the Hulk serum.
Oh yeah. But they even that was just for that episode, but they even corrected that. But like to the fact that like this is how I know that they fixed the CGI is because that's why they got denied. First, Disney was like, yeah, we'll give you a second season, and then She-Hulk show was like, all right, it's gonna cost this much, and then Disney was like, never mind. So because of that. Because the CGI was probably, gonna be better than the first season, obviously.
Had to be.
But I think that's why they're like, oh, it's gonna cost this much because we already have it at this level. We're gonna make it better. So I think that's why, it got denied because this is gonna be too much money for what it's worth. Yeah, I agree. This show, it was its own thing, but I think that the way we differ is that we look at the show differently. So I don't see it as, it's a really long movie that it flopped in. She-Hulk was trying to tell a story that was its own thing. You can't compare it to other things because it's done a different way. Similar to like how She-Hulk is.
You're holding on to that because that's what Kevin said. And what Kevin says is usually law and rule. I get it. He's our Lord and Savior. No,
yeah.
But like the point I'm making is like, it was made for a handful of people that were going to get along with it. But I feel like, and Addie admitted to this, like at the end of the day, it's still a business. True. And I want more She-Hulk, but we didn't get it because they didn't do it right with that structure. Okay. Echo would have been a better show if they followed the structure of the way they're doing now for Marvel Television. The first time we've got to see it was with a showrunner and done like the right way was with X-Men 97. The reason it was so successful because granted, I know Bodo Mail is not on the project anymore. He was a killer fucking showrunner.
He set something up.
He put shit in motion. He had a vision, and he made sure everybody in line followed that vision. And and that's why Jack Schaefer came back, and she had the story already written for WandaVision. They established that this is a season 2, essentially, to WandaVision, and they kept certain elements of WandaVision, but ran it like a traditional show.
Yeah.
And I think I have hope now because now they can say, all right, we're going to do a lower budget She-Hulk that matches, and put in the CGI, give us, 8 episodes, and I'd be comfortable with them giving a second season greenlit with this structure.
Well, see, that's the thing. And that's why these two shows work so well is because they had the same team on both, but they were structured the same way.
No, they weren't. So WandaVision wasn't, it was a real long movie.
Right. No. But I'm saying in how they were telling the story. So like, those two, they match. You know what I mean? Like with everything that went on, and Jack Schaefer was a part of both projects, so they have that glue. You know what I mean? So had any other projects, She-Hulk, Echo, Had they done that with that similarity, yeah, they would have worked.
But it didn't, and I'm glad why they have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad that's why they have Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation, and Marvel Television, because look at the missed opportunity with Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. I enjoyed the movie very much so, but the Wanda we saw in WandaVision and the Wanda we saw in Multiverse of Madness were not the same Wanda.
Correct.
And it was blatantly obvious that they were not the same Wanda. Yeah, physically, were they the same Wanda? Yeah, was it technically? Yeah. But the characters weren't written the same.
Right.
And now it's a cleaner look.
I think had we had Marvel Television before She-Hulk and Echo, they would have turned out way better.
Dude, we'd be on season 2 of both of those already.
Yes,
1,000%. Yeah. And I'm not saying, again, I love the content. I love of the.
If that's how you feel about them, you know, you're within reason, and you have that right to feel like I said. I think we just thoroughly see those shows differently. I agree with you about Echo. That's an easy agree. But I don't know, just She-Hulk, I guess, similar to the way WandaVision hit you, and like so specifically, and you know, you have a connection to that show. I just thoroughly enjoyed and had a connection with She-Hulk. That's plain and simple.
Oh, and I get that, and
I could see your points on She-Hulk 100%, and I get it. Like I said, I just view it differently.
Because it disappointed me because She-Hulk can be more than what we got.
Absolutely,
and that's my disappointment.
Have we seen the last She-Hulk? Absolutely not. She's coming back.
She was supposed to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, and they cut her scenes.
So many people were supposed to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, and they cut their scenes. But I meant the character itself. We're gonna see her in other projects.
There's a lawsuit happening between Disney and Tatiana Maslany. I don't think it's gonna happen.
What lawsuit?
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure there's a lawsuit happening. Tatiana Maslany and Disney. There's like a whole lawsuit situation happening.
Well, I never even knew this.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that was our thoughts on Agatha All Along. Let us know what you guys think, if you guys enjoyed it, or if not, let us know. We want to hear from you all. So I don't have anything else on this fantastic series. Do you?
No, I love it. Okay. I love this series. Sad we're probably not going to get a season 2 because there's going to be
a Vision not.
Series.
Well, in a way we kind of are, but it's just going to be through Vision series. Yeah.
So, and I think the Vision series, and I was worried that it was going to be like another version of or the failed attempt that they had towards Armor Wars. I assumed that they were going to try to push that into the Vision series.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think that's going to happen anymore. With the success of Agatha, I think Jack Schaefer, she's going to come back and help with the Vision series, and it's going to be a technological. It's going to be a combination of a technological and spiritual journey.
Oh, okay.
So with the technology and the witch power and all that happening, I think it's going to be a good combination of the both. And Jack Schaefer has to come back for it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
well, I mean, we're excited about that, and stay tuned for that because we are going to be following that series very, very much. But we want to thank you guys for joining us yet again. And Kike, I know I've told you this 100 times, but for the 101st time, I'm with you.
To the end of the line.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Also, hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all our new episodes and more.